Okay. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back from spring break, everybody, and welcome back. Thank you for joining us this week for another installment of Ask Epic. We meet every week to discuss all things Epic. We want to provide new to Epic families and returning families a place to learn about all the opportunities we offer, and we offer a lot. And today's going to be a lot of fun. I'm Carla Smitherman, and I'm from the Epic Development Team.
Hi, and I am Shawnee. I'm also from the development team. I'm really happy to be here. We have so much to share with you today. We have lots of great information about graduation and prom. So those are two great events that are coming up. If you need to reach out to our team, I will try and put that in the chat here in a second, but our email address is edt@epiccharterschools.org. And then we also have a new phone number. You can reach us at the other number right now, but we are transferring over to a new number for our department, and that is 405-400-0651. And then our extension is 489 for our department. Carla?
All righty. So we're joined today by Serena and Katrina from the events team, and we're excited to dive in and learn more from you, both of you. So thank you, ladies, for joining us today. The events team with Epic is just one of our departments that work very hard to make sure all things that our families attend are as great as they are. And I can confirm last year on the excitement on my students' faces from the prom to the graduation. We give memorable activities. So I know this year will be no different. And anyway, so this department is responsible for so many events, and they always turn out so fantastic. We have almost 30,000 students and thousands of employees. And they do the work to make sure all these events are safe and fun. So today we're going to discuss two of Epic's most exciting events of the school year, prom and graduation.
Yeah. So first off, prom is first. So we're gonna go into prom real quick, and talk about lots of things that have to do with prom, and then we're gonna move on to graduation. So our prom, we actually have two locations. We have one in Oklahoma City at the Sam Noble on April 13th. And then we also have one in Tulsa at the Jinx Aquarium on April 20th. We do still have availability, from what I understand, for you to still join. So that is something that can still be done. Now, I would like to ask, now I guess Serena or Katrina, either one of you, can they still, what is the cost and what are the times of those two events?
The cost is $55. Let me double check that. Yeah, $55 per ticket. And both proms will run from 7 to 10 p.m. And it is for Epic high school students. All high school students are invited. And we just want to make sure everyone knows that also includes our students who've already graduated this school year, completed those credits. They're still welcome to join because they were a part of Epic this school year, and this is their last opportunity to attend a prom, and they should be there. It's a really exciting event.
That's very good. That's good to know, because I know a lot of students that did finish in December. They're probably asking themselves, can I still attend? So
We've
thank
already
you for
done
sharing.
650 grads so far.
Wow. I know. Exciting. Absolutely. So tell me a little bit more about it. Tell me, who can go to the prom, and can they bring a guest?
Yes, they can bring guests, registered guests. So please make sure that you register your guests. And we just ask that they are high school age and between or no older than 21 years.
All right, good. Okay, so I guess the question of the hour, some students may not want to know this answer, but can parents attend?
No, parents not attend. We've got a lot of staff lined up to be chaperones, and I know parents all want to chaperone, but we want to make sure everyone knows this is for a safety issue, that the state has actually some laws regarding who can work for schools and interact directly with students. So, all of the EPIC staff has been through a thorough OSBI background check, fingerprinting, the full gamut to make sure that safe hands, But we also yearly go through lots of trainings so that we learn about, what to do in certain situations and how to handle kids going through a difficult time. So we're all really well trained on that. And we go through these trainings every year for hours upon hours. So by limiting it to EPIC staff, that they're with safe people. And our attendee to chaperone ratio is really, really good. Currently, we have about 500 students registered for both proms, and we have almost 100 chaperones registered for both proms. So we're looking at a pretty good student to adult ratio for those.
That sounds really safe and fun. Thank you.
Does. So I do know that I got a little birdie in the ear that told me that we were going to have this great photo booth available. So that's going to be cool. So we did have a question in our chat already, and it leads to this next question about whether you can use the Learning Fund to pay for the tickets. But our question in the chat was, do the tickets get delivered by your phone, or are they printed out, or how does that work?
The registration is through Eventbrite. So whenever the student registers, they will get an email with their ticket to the email address they used when registering. But if they happen to not have that ticket, no worries. We're able to look them up by their name and check them in that way. So there's always a backup plan if you don't have your ticket. Most of the time, students come in and they have it on their phone, or some of them print it out and have it on a piece of paper. We just scan that QR code. But if not, it takes us a matter of seconds to look them up by name, so no problem.
Sure.
Okay, can we use the Learning Fund? Can they use Learning Fund to do buy the prom tickets?
Unfortunately, no, the Learning Fund is not available for prom tickets or caps and gowns, which is the other popular question, but that's
all right. Well, I mean, it's good information to know though ahead of time.
Very good. Outstanding. Well, I saw some beautiful pictures from last year's prom, and everybody just looked amazing. Is there a dress code for the prom?
No, we don't. I mean, you can be as casual as you want to be. You can be as dressed up, of course. Our theme this year is masquerade, so I'm pretty excited and hoping that everybody is super shiny, but you don't have to be. No, we do ask that you don't come in like maybe a costume. Just for safety reasons, of course. But other than that, no, you can be as relaxed or as dressed up as you'd like to be.
Okay, very good. Well, I see a question down here that someone has asked from Kiara Morris. They asked, what kind of snacks and drinks will be at the prom?
It's traditionally been just kind of light hors d'oeuvres, like the drinks would be water, lemonade, tea. And the snacks are typically like maybe fruit and cheese, meat, vegetable trays, cookies. It varies from venue to venue depending on what they have available. But yeah, just a very light snack because most students actually get all dressed up and go out to dinner before they come, but you need a little substance to keep you dancing all night long. So.
Well, that's great to know. That'll keep them going till the evening's over.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
It will. So, I mean, we have to discuss this. It's not going to be the most funnest part of the day here, but there are going to be rules. We have to have rules with everything that we do so that everything stays organized and safe. So we want everybody to have fun. Even though there's rules, it's okay. So what do our students need to remember about rules when they're attending a prom?
Well, we ask that, we have a very strict policy, and we're not going to tolerate fighting, of course, smoking, vaping, inappropriate behavior of any kind. So any of those things, we have chaperones all over, and we just ask that they respect them. And if that's not the case, then we will ask them to leave.
And we
Very
also
good.
have a policy that if a student leaves, they cannot come back in.
Right.
We've seen in the past before we had to implement that, sometimes they were sneaking to their car to get a little to drink or something inappropriate. So once you leave, you're gone for the evening. But we will have chaperones stationed at the door to remind students of that before they leave and be like, hey, if you leave, you don't get to come back, because we're trying to make sure it's safe for everybody. And we will have security and off-duty officers as well. And they'll be patrolling the parking lot as well as inside to make sure everybody is safe.
That's wonderful. That's outstanding. I know that our prom is going to be very inclusive. What if I'm a parent who has a student with a disability? Are there any other specifics that I need to know about, or some specific things that would help me to make a decision if I want to send my young person?
Yeah, please let us know. Contact Epic Events at epiccharterschools.org so that we can work through those arrangements with the parents. We always try to make our events as inclusive as possible. So every time we hold a big event like this, we make sure it's fully ADA compliant. We make sure that the DJ does not bring in quick strobe lights to cause those that might be prone towards seizures to have an episode, and we have lots of quiet spots for those that might be a little overwhelmed or sensory sensitive. At the aquarium, it's really cool. It's the greatest quiet zone ever. It's back at the back where the shark tank is. So the lights are kind of low and you can just sit there and watch the sharks. It is the most soothing and relaxing thing. It can calm anybody. So lots of options there. And of course, we've got lots of staff, many of whom are SPED certified, that will be there as well to assist any students. And we would also encourage parents that are really concerned to maybe see if their teacher that student knows might be willing to chaperone so they have a friendly face. Last year, I know we had one teacher that specifically chaperoned just because she had one student that was special needs that was worried about coming. I checked in on her about 10 minutes into the prom and she's like, oh, they already ditched me to go hang out with their new friends. So they were really quick to just move on and meet new people, which was great.
I love that. That makes me feel so happy to know that we are doing everything in our part to share all these experiences with all our students. So that's great. Thank you, Serena.
Yes, absolutely. So I think we touched on this a little bit about whether parents can attend, but can parents actually volunteer to help out at prom?
No,
can't.
it will.
Okay.
No, it will. The student council is actually actively involved, so they'll be helping
Oh,
with
okay.
the setup and things. And one of the cool things our student council is also doing this time is they're going to be on the lookout for students who look like they're maybe alone and don't know anybody, and they're going to go and introduce themselves and try and make, establish some new friendships. It's really fun. Last year, we met a young man who came. He looked very nervous. And about 30 minutes later, he came up to introduce us to his new best friend he just met that night. So
Oh,
it's
that's so
really cool to
awesome.
watch them form these friendships.
That is
Okay.
special. That is awesome. I love that. Just encouraging community and making
Exactly.
sure our students feel good about participating.
In both venues, we've reserved the entire venue. So like at the Sam Noble Museum in Norman, there's exhibits upstairs all around. So it's not just dancing and the loud noise. There's so many other things that they can do. Same thing with the aquarium. And we find that's a really good icebreaker because most of the students don't know each other before they arrive. But by having a spot where they can go, it's a little bit quieter or more low key, they can meet people, and it's wonderful to watch those friendships come about from it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Is there
Sounds good.
anything
That's what
else
it's
that
all.
sorry about that, Carla. Is there anything
No,
else
go
we
ahead.
want to share about prom? Is there anything that we missed that you guys can think of before we move on to graduation? Because I know that's going to be a hot topic.
It will be, the cancellation policy for full refunds was 4 weeks or more before the event. So we're in that range. So cancellations with refunds, I think we're past that date for Norman and nearing it for Tulsa. And we do want to make sure that everyone knows if the children have special accommodations, we're happy to assist. We just ask that, they contact us in advance. We had some parents show up last year and wanted to come in, and then were wanting refunds because they weren't able to come in. And, we've communicated all along that it will be for the students and staff only, and that is for the safety of everybody in attendance. But they're welcome to be in the parking. We have a lot of parents that come in a long ways to drop their students off for this. So there are usually parents out in the parking lot, and there will be photo ops just outside the door so they can get those last photos before their students go in. And I don't think we covered the photography part of it, but we will have professional photographers there as well from Grand Life Photography. And they will be taking photos and then sending the email proofs to students that registered after prom, and that will go to the email address used on their registration. And so you can review those photos and look at them and decide if you want to purchase them or not. There's no obligation there.
All
Oh,
right,
that's
very
good.
good.
So they don't have to do that at the time. They don't have to bring money to actually purchase those photos. So they
Nope.
can take the photos and see them later and buy them. So that's great news.
Yeah, and if they
That is
happen to have
good.
their eyes closed and it's just a really bad photo, just act like it didn't happen. But
Yeah.
I know,
the good
I
news
always
with
close
our
my eyes.
photographers is usually they'll take several photos just in case that happens. Then you can choose from the photos to decide.
Okay.
Remind us again of the dates. I just wanted to reinforce those dates right now and tell us about from Norman to Tulsa, what those are and the times.
Okay, yeah, Saturday, April 13th will be the Norman prom or the Oklahoma City area prom at the Sam Noble Museum of Natural History in Norman. And then Saturday, April 20th will be the Tulsa area prom at the Oklahoma Aquarium in Jinx. And both proms will go from 7 to 10 p.m.
Outstanding. I know it's going to be a fun evening. Everybody, everyone who can participate, please make sure you do so.
Yeah,
I saw, like I said, I saw the
really fun
pictures from
event. And
last
these
year.
chaperones have a really good time too. In fact, I think everyone who signs up the next year and says, I'm going to bring friends next time, because
Coming
they
back.
have so much fun
Yeah.
seeing the students all dressed up, and they look so amazing. And it's just fun to interact and see them on this very, very special night. So if we have staff watching that maybe hasn't signed up to chaperone, we encourage them to do this because it is an awesome event.
Great. Well, I'm sure it'll be a night to remember. And remind us again, Katrina, of the theme.
It is the masquerade.
Yes.
So yes, I'm looking forward just to see like the creativity of the masks and stuff. So get those creativity juices flowing and come on out and have a good time.
Very good.
Absolutely.
I know it's going to be amazing. Okay, so let's get started about graduation. Shani already kind of gave us a little teaser about it. That's our next conversation.
That is the
So,
hot topic today.
yes, it is. Hot topic. I love it. I know families are excited to get registered for their desired graduation ceremony. So has registration gone live yet?
Registration went live about 20 minutes ago, and I'm looking at it now. We've currently in Tulsa have 156 registered, and in Norman 243. That is between the 6 ceremonies, or 3 in each city, but registrations are pouring in. Usually when registration goes live, that first 48 hours, they fly through, and then it'll kind of slow down for a little bit. We don't expect to reach capacity on any of these ceremonies for probably a month. And whenever we do, we will have a wait list. And typically we do find ways to get people off of that wait list and onto their desired ceremonies. So no need to sweat all that. You get to choose your ceremony.
Okay, very good. We have some questions that I just want to make sure we get answered before we move on. Okay, so one of them is, do the tickets go to our phones or do they get delivered? I know we've answered that once, but go ahead and answer that again for us.
They'll,
Yes, they do.
they'll be emailed
For
both
the-
graduation and prom. And in
Okay,
both
and prom.
instances, we're using Eventbrite for those. So it's really easy for us to do the name lookups. So if they lose their tickets, no worries. And usually a reminder goes out about 48 hours, I think it is, before with the ticket again. So they'll have that extra opportunity to do that. We can scan the phones, we can scan a piece of paper, or we can look them up by name. We're really
Okay, very
easy going.
good.
Either way, we'll get them in.
When
Okay,
is
very
I
good.
think
Next
one of
question.
the,
Go ahead, Shani.
that's all right. One of the other questions was, I guess we didn't go over this. When is the last time they can buy a prom ticket?
The prom tickets, I think she stopped selling those. Let me double check on that. It's typically, I think 48 hours before the event.
Oh, okay.
48 or 72. I want to say, yeah. It's 48 or
Okay.
72.
So we have plenty of time.
Yeah, there's still time on that.
Yeah, it's not like
Okay.
it goes off a few weeks in advance.
Yeah. The next question is, Miss Keena asked us, I just registered my daughter for graduation. The Eventbrite account was in my name. I've noticed my confirmation says that I'm the graduate. How do I get that fixed?
You can actually edit on that confirmation. There's a link that you can go in and edit your registration. But if not, just email us at epicevents@epiccharterschools.org and we'll help you through that.
Okay. And I think we also have had the question, which we probably will get to this, but we'll go ahead and answer it now. How can they register? Where is that register link?
The link's on our website. So if you go to epiccharterschools.org, the one for graduation is epiccharterschools.org/graduation. And if they were asking about prom, so I wasn't sure which one, it's epiccharterschools.org/prom. But you can also search that on our website. And then there should be, we do have links in the calendar listing for prom, and we will have the link for registration on the graduation one as soon as we get out of here. I just haven't had the chance to go into the calendar and update it since it went live when we started this, but we'll have that updated around 3.
Okay. All right, that's great. So let's move on after these questions. If we have some more pop up, we'll go to those. So where are the locations for graduations this year? And then how many students do we usually have attend each graduation?
The Tulsa area graduations will be at the Donald W. Reynolds Center, which is on the University of Tulsa campus. It's the big basketball arena. And the Norman graduation will be at the Lloyd Noble Center on the University of Oklahoma campus. And there will be 2 ceremonies on both of those Saturdays. Those will be at 12 and 5. And then for the Tulsa ones, unfortunately, Friday wasn't available, so we had to go with Sunday. So that one will be a 5 p.m. ceremony. That way people can do their early day activities and be able to still attend. And for Norman, we were able to get Friday, Saturday combined. So that will be a Friday at 5 p.m. followed by the noon and 5 p.m. ones on Saturday. And we do cap our registration on all of these. We limit the number of students who can attend. That way we don't have to limit the number of guests that they can invite. This is a really, really important milestone event for all of these families. It takes a village to help these students pass this finish line, and everybody should be there to celebrate with them. So we cap the number of students per ceremony so that they can invite everybody. And if you have people who can't make it, we're also going to be live streaming it to the Epic website and Epic Facebook page. So family and friends from anywhere can watch this milestone event as well. And it also keeps the time moving on it, because we know sitting there for a long time is really hard for all of us. So by keeping the number of students in each ceremony under 600, we're able to typically go through the entire ceremony within an hour and a half, which is awesome. That way, everybody gets to see the valedictorian speeches, the keynote speech, everyone cross the stage, the celebration, and still get out at a reasonable time.
All right, very good. Outstanding. It's going to be wonderful. Norika is asking, is this the Zoom for me to pick my graduation date? Norika, I will say to you, we were discussing the dates right now. So let's go ahead and just reaffirm those dates again to tell her what those dates are.
Yes. So if you're wanting to attend for the Tulsa area, it's May 18th and 19th. And if you're wanting to attend for the Oklahoma City area, that will be May 31st and June 1st. And you can go to epiccharterschools.org/graduation. The registration links are there on that page, and you can pick from the 6 ceremonies which one works best for your schedule and where you are located at.
All right, very good. Kira is asking, could the link to register be sent in this chat whenever it's updated? I think you mentioned that you were going to wait until afterwards to post
well, we
it.
can do it in the chat. That was just on the calendar, the main calendar. So
okay, very good. All right, it will be on the calendar, so make sure you check the calendar.
Online.
Okay.
So, am I able to put into the chat for those? I'd be happy to type it in.
You should be able to.
Okay. I'll
just make sure you click everyone so everyone can see it.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just trying to look that up.
Okay, cool. Well, I will get that in for everybody right now. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Well, we'll keep moving on as you are typing that in. Hope that is helping out everyone who's listening and watching, that they can go ahead and register. Okay. We've already talked about the locations, and we've talked about I was going to talk about photo ops. Are there going to be photo opportunities there? I know there's going to be a lot of family fun and music and a lot of outstanding activities for the participants and their families. But how about photo opportunities?
So we will have a Grand Life Photography there, and we will also have a fun like photo, like a Photoshop. I can't remember the name of it. Serena, you might help me out
Yeah, we'll have the
on
photo
the.
booth one.
It's the photo booth. I'm sorry. Yes, but Grand Life will be there for all the photo opportunities. Also, we have a beautification station. So once they leave the beautification station, and we'll talk more about that, I'm sure, but they'll go straight to Grand Life, and Grand Life will get their photographs right then and there, make them look really nice, and then they will escort them on out of there.
Yeah, and I'm sure that works like it does with prom, where they don't necessarily have to purchase the pictures that day. It gets sent to their email and then they can purchase later.
Yes, it's
Okay.
exactly the same way. And the cool thing with graduation is they'll have several photos to choose from, because the Grand Life photographers will take the photos of them in their caps and gowns in the beautification area before they go and pick their seats. And then they will get a picture as well when they're crossing the stage to get their diploma covers and shake hands with the superintendent. So they'll have both the before with the plain background and the during the ceremony photo, which is wonderful. And they will be able to view those proofs. They'll be emailed. Usually it's within 2 weeks of the ceremony, and they'll be able to look at those and decide which ones they want to pick and purchase if they even want to. And of course, they're welcome. Families can take all the photos they want while this is going on. Because it is being live streamed, that means we're also recording it all. So after the ceremonies have taken place, we will be uploading those to the Epic YouTube channel, so everybody will be able to watch the full video of the ceremony as well.
Okay. That is great to know. So we have 150 probably at least staff members that are going to be there that day to help with these graduations, which is just fantastic.
More
It's
than that.
phenomenal. Yeah, yeah, even more than that. So at least 150. So there's going to be Epic staff everywhere to help out with all kinds of things. And one thing that Katrina had just touched on is this next thing that we were going to talk about. So we do have, I'm sure, families that are going to be primping over their kids, their graduates and stuff, and they're going to want to help them get in their gowns and their caps and make them look all nice and things like that. Can families help do that? Or are we going to help do that? Or how does that work?
So we have staff back there, and I have plenty of volunteers. We call it our beautification station. So no, the parents will not be back there with the students, but we have staff that will greet them at the door. We will get them registered. If they have any rewards or awards, we will escort them there. If they don't have a cap and gown, we will escort them to Herff Jones to get their cap and gown. We have stations set out all around with mirrors, everything from bobby pins to flip flops. We help them get completely steamed if they need it, talked through. They have us laughing. We just kind of break the ice there and get those nerves off of them. Once we get them all shined up, like I said, then we pass them on to Grand Life. But yes, we have a whole slew of volunteers back there talking and loving on the babies.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, we
And
actually had
exciting.
between 109 and 178 staff people at each ceremony last year.
Wonderful.
So that's over 100 Epic employees helping with each one of these. And like I said, we're capping that registration at 600. So that's a great ratio when we can really individualize the attention that and the love that we pour onto these students on this very, very special milestone. It's their day.
Yes.
We're there to celebrate and make it as stress-free and happy and exciting as we can.
That is. And it is, I mean, it's a culmination of all their work, all their efforts. So it's going to be a great day.
It's
So tell
awesome
us
how everyone comes together.
like,
Yes,
gonna be
I love it.
fun.
It's my favorite.
It
It's my favorite.
takes a lot. It takes a lot to make a successful event, but we do a great job every year. Tell us what else makes graduation special. I know so many other things. I want you guys to talk to us about those.
Oh, we have everything from red carpet to a whole cheering squad. Our cheering squad is phenomenal. I love the way we just dote over the babes. I really do. The students they just light up. They really do, and we love to see it. We're going to have everything from I'm sorry, y'all, my alarm is going off. I apologize. But just a whole staff of bells and whistles and you did it and accolades out the door. I absolutely, it's my favorite. We have music, and this time Serena has a special thing that she might talk about, like as they go down the line.
Yeah, we're working on some different activities as they go through, because when they arrive, we don't hold a rehearsal like most schools do because our students are statewide. And some families are traveling hours to attend these ceremonies, and it's unreasonable to expect anybody to do that twice. So we ask that students try to arrive an hour and a half to 2 hours before the ceremony starts. And that way we're there to make sure that everything's in place. They're good to go with having the awards, the beautification area, the pictures. Perv Jones will be there. If they lose a tassel or a stole or something, they're there with extras. If they decided at the last minute to walk, they weren't planning on it, they're going to have caps and gowns available for purchase there as well. I do recommend that you order them in advance, just because they might run out of sizes, and it'll be a limited selection. But we'll have all of that going on. But we are also going to have some games and some activities along with the photo station, everything. So from the moment they walk in until the moment they leave, it's going to be exciting and it's going to be a fun celebration. And we're just going to have, games, photo booth, you name it. It's all going to be there as they go through. And as Katrina mentioned, and it kind of came about organically, a few years ago, we were at a different venue than we normally are for graduation. And some of the staff there and some of our staff were clapping as the students went out, and the students got really into it. So it came to be this big celebration as they leave, where all the staff gathers. We have pom-poms, noisemakers, different things, and we cheer and we celebrate, and we make sure that that last glimpse they have of that big staff is a celebration for their big accomplishment. And it is so much fun.
That is great. I have been, because I was previous teacher, so I've been to a lot of graduations. It's always fun. It's always exciting. I do know, I'm not sure if we touched on this yet or not. We talked about lots of beautification things, but we're going to have those families that are in a hurry. They never took their cap and gown out of the package, or they did get it ahead of time and they crumpled it up and put it in their back seat. So we don't want them to walk across wrinkly, right? So
Right.
that is, Katrina, what you were saying a while ago, with making them look all, beautiful and wonderful and everything looking great. We have steamers, right?
Yes. Yes, we have steaming stations.
Yes. Okay. So
A
that
whole
way,
lineup of full length mirrors,
Full
steamers.
length
We have a
mirrors.
whole team ready to take care of them.
Yes.
yeah, I can just imagine that one student walking in, with that crinkly gown and their
We have
cap, and they're like, it's been in my back seat, and their mom's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. And we've got it, right?
we
We
got
we can take care of
We've
it.
got it.
Yes.
No
Okay.
worries.
All right. We do have a question but we're actually going to get to it here in a second. And so I'm going to wait on it because it has to do with how we line up our students. So we are going to get to that here in just a second. But before we get to that, how long, and I know this is hard to kind of predict, but we do have a guesstimate of how long do we think the graduations last? And we kind of talked about this already a little bit. What if you can't come in person?
Our goal is to try to keep the graduations length at about an hour and a half. It could go as long as 2 hours, but our goal is to try and get it as close to an hour and a half as we can. And a lot of that will depend on how many students are registered for that ceremony. And because they get to choose which one they participate in, there is some variation, and it varies from year to year. Some years Oklahoma City area is huge, and some years Tulsa is bigger. So we just don't know till they start registering how many to expect for each ceremony. But we also have no more than 3 valedictorians speaking per ceremony. We keep the main speech very, very short because this is their day. It's about the students. just like right now, one of the things that went out in the email today to students and their families for registration, there is a link there for those who might be interested in performing the national anthem at their graduation. So they can submit a video of them performing that, and then we will select, we hope we'll have a student for each ceremony to perform that. Last year, and it doesn't have to be even singing. We had a student last year who played the electric guitar, and it was phenomenal. He became a YouTube sensation, thousands of hits just to watch his performance from that one. And it was really cool too, because we had staff pouring out to see it. The young lady who sang at the other ceremony that day, her voice, she is phenomenal. I mean, we had such great talent. And this year, we're even going to have the new Epic Choir performing at some of the graduations too, which will be really exciting. And we've never had that before.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I was excited about the choir. I think I'd heard that. So that is going to be a great
we're
addition.
very excited. This will be a first
Yes.
for us. We've had the homeschool band in the past, but to have our own choir sing
Your
is
own
just,
choir. That's good.
we're excited. It'll be great.
That's awesome. And did you answer the question about if you're not able to come in person? I don't know if you got to
Oh,
that
I'm
or
sorry.
not.
No, I did. We do not have a virtual ceremony. We'll just be doing the 6 in-person ceremonies. We tried to allow flexibility by having 6 different ceremonies so that hopefully one of them will work into everyone's schedules, but we know not everybody's comfortable attending this, and that's fine. They'll still get their diplomas. We will be trying to mail those out this summer. But we do encourage, I know a lot of folks have anxiety. So one of the things that sets our graduation apart from so many is our SPED team really comes together, and they have a quiet room at each ceremony. And so if anyone's feeling a little bit anxious or overwhelmed, they can go take a break in that quiet room away from it all. And there will be staff there with various fidgets, some noise canceling headphones, some snacks, other things, and it's just a quiet, relaxing space. It's also really good for the students with sensory issues, or maybe if they're not comfortable sitting out there the whole time, they can even stand back with the students behind the stage or in the background, and then when it's time, walk them over to the line for them to cross the stage, and then quietly escort them back behind the scenes again. So we kind of eliminate some of that stress and anxiety for them.
Wow, I feel like you all thought of everything, every option.
I
So
think they do.
that's
I think they
wonderful.
do.
They do. But next question. I think this answers one of the questions that Shani was talking about earlier. How do families know where to find their student in the graduation lineup?
They need to, we do not line them up in alphabetical order. We used to do that, but what we found was it was a lot of stress and work, both for the volunteers as well as for the students. Because the majority of our students are virtual, they don't know very many of their classmates like you have in a traditional brick and mortar setting. But a lot of them know 1 or 2 people. Well, say for instance, Susie Brown is friends with William Smith. That's a long ways apart on the alphabet, but by letting them choose their seats, they can sit next to someone they know, and it eliminates some of that stress and anxiety. And also, it's less stress for the staff trying to keep everybody in order. And if they take a bathroom break, making sure they go to the right spot. And that makes everybody be a little bit moodier. And we want everybody to be happy and celebrating, because this is a celebration of a huge accomplishment for each of these students. So by taking that out of the equation, it just seemed to relax and change the whole feel of the ceremony. And it became more comfortable for everybody and more exciting and more fun. And when we line them up, we had a crowd of like 40 kids behind the scenes scared to come out. And now it's a very small group. So we can tell a huge difference just by eliminating that one piece.
Yeah, and
But
maybe just a suggestion would be, if I had my student out there, I would probably be texting my student and saying, "Where are you in the lineup?" And they could tell me like I'm 4 rows back, or
Yeah.
whatever on the left side. So they could definitely do that with their families, and then that way they can tell them where they are.
Yeah, we don't have any rules about no cell phones and that stuff. They should be able to have that cell phone. They're going to be waiting for a while. They can play games on it. They can take pictures. Usually they're doing selfies and different things out there. So yeah, they can coordinate and maybe even talk to their family in advance and say, hey, I'm going to try to find a spot on the right side of the stage, or, just discuss some of those things in advance. Or maybe as they're in the lineup doing the photos, the family calls and says, hey, I'm going to be seated in section 207. Can you try and sit close to that? They can totally do that. We're very flexible on that. We want it to be just a comfortable, relaxing, stress-free day for the students and their families. They all worked really hard to get here.
Sure,
They
sure.
did.
We
They
did
did.
have a question
Go
about,
ahead, Fanny.
yeah, we had a question about, and this is a really good question. I don't think we had it on here to ask. We have a question about whether or not if a person has a picture of their senior that they would like to have like in a slideshow, how would they get that done?
So there is a slideshow before the ceremony. It will not air during the ceremony itself. We will have photographers or the video crew for the venue will be doing close-up shots of the students, which will be projected onto the big screens during the ceremony itself. But before the ceremony, the slideshow will air. There's only 2 slideshows, one for Norman, one for Tulsa, because we know maybe something came up and someone had to at the last minute switch to a different Norman ceremony. That way their picture's still going to show up. The link to submit those photos is in the registration confirmation email from Eventbrite, as well as the confirmation page. So whenever you complete your registration, it will show up there. But we also have that link along with the deadlines posted onto the EPIC graduation website, which is epiccharterschools.org/graduation. We've also got it there in the chat. If you scroll down to just underneath the cap and gown section, it has slideshow listed there and the links for both the Tulsa and Norman one. The deadline for those photos is a little over a week out from the ceremonies. That is a hard deadline. I know everybody wants to slip in a picture at the last minute, but the year we tried to slip them in at the last minute, it crashed the system and we almost didn't have a slideshow. So we promised the editors we would give them a full week to get that together, and we have to send the slideshow to the venues for them to test on all of their monitors and make sure that it's working a few days out as well. So that is a very hard deadline. No exceptions. Sorry about that, guys. But the good news is there's still lots of time. The one for the Tulsa, the deadline is Sunday, May 5th at midnight. The one for Norman, the deadline is Sunday, May 19th at midnight. So, it's just a little over a week before the ceremony. So just go ahead and upload those photos whenever you can.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds great. We did
Great.
talk about the cap and gown a little bit already. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with that. You can buy them on the site. You said we can buy them while we are at the graduation if you decide to do it last minute, but they may have, specific, they won't have as many size selections in case, you need a different size or things like that. A lot of times they're kind of a one size thing, but they do have some extra sizes. But I did want to touch on real quick because I remember you telling me this. Let's say you get your cap and gown and you know that kid that had it all crumpled up in their back seat. They lost their tassel. Do you
No
all
problem.
what can we do about that?
There will be
No
plenty of extra tassels.
Okay. So if they lose like a piece of ensemble, prior to graduation, we try and do the best we can to help them make everything a success for that day.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Very good. I keep saying, I think you all have dotted every I and crossed every T, as the conversation goes along, I'm even more convinced. So anyway, okay. So we're expecting a large crowd at every graduation. What are some of the things that we might need to know about the event before we get there?
The good news is parking will be free at both venues. We did at the University of Tulsa last year, we found that parking was a bit of a situation. So this year we will have some overflow lots at other places on the campus. We will share maps with information to all families. I would actually encourage as many people as possible to try and park in the overflow lots. We will have a shuttle service going continuously, big shuttle buses, to bring people from that lot right to the door. So actually by parking on the bonus lots, you're going to have a lot less walking because they're going to take you right up by the building so you can walk right in them. And the Lloyd Noble Center is parking all the way around the building, so no big deal on that one. because of the size of the venues, we will be adhering to their security and safety policies. So that means there will be magnetometers that everyone will walk through to make sure there's no weapons or anything inappropriate. And OU does have a clear bag policy. So make sure you've got your clear bags. Ziploc bags work. You can throw it all in a big gallon Ziploc bag. You're just fine. But they do very strictly enforce that. At this point, the University of Tulsa is not enforcing it, but my call with them a couple of weeks ago, they are looking to change that policy in the near future. We don't know if it will be before this or not, so we have to kind of follow the rules, but we will communicate all of that information with all of our registrants well in advance, along with maps on best places to park, where to enter the building, because there will be a different entrance for the graduating student than the entrance for the families and friends who are coming to watch.
Outstanding. Very good.
Yeah. So, of course, we want people to wear whatever is comfortable for them. They're going to be standing, sitting, lots of different things. I know after going to graduations, I've seen everybody dress up as in like they were going to prom, and I've seen people dress up in shorts. It's okay either way, right? And
Yes.
so is there anything that we need to know about a dress code? And then I also would just love for you to share just real quick, if you can, the little flip-flop story.
So
Oh,
yeah, I'm sorry, Katrina, go on.
no, you go ahead. Go ahead, Serena.
I was just going to say, I would encourage them to be comfortable. Those gowns get kind of hot. And they're going to be sitting for a while before it starts, and there is a bit of walking and, potential. There's some ramps. If you've got really high stilettos, that can be hard. And one year we had multiple girls that were having trouble with their stilettos. They were falling, tripping, and bless their hearts, they were crying. And we were crying along with them because this is their special day. They're supposed to have a wonderful day. They earned this. And it was awful to see their day almost spoiled by a pair of bad shoes. So we do have a box of flip-flops in case of those emergencies. We even had a student one year that was a valedictorian that his flip-flop broke on the way out. So we've got the backup flip-flops. It wasn't one of the ones we gave, it was what it came in with, but we will have those available for students if they run into that. But just, make sure you have on shoes and clothes that you're comfortable in. You can't really enjoy your day if you're worrying more about your outfit than the experience.
Absolutely.
That is amazing. Well, like I said, I like that flip-flop story. That's interesting. So, but it sounds like, again, we've done everything in our power to make sure our students are going to have the most exceptional day ever. So thank you all for that. That's wonderful. Last question, I think it's a really good one. Will the student receive their diploma at graduation?
Potentially. What we basically say is, traditionally we've mailed out diplomas in the summertime. Last year we were able to actually distribute a lot of those diplomas at the ceremony. We can't give them to them as they cross the stage because we don't know what order they're going to be sitting in. And we do, diplomas are held until students have completed all of the state requirements for graduation and they have been exited out through our student database system when we have confirmation of a solid graduation date. And also all of their learning fund assets need to be returned. So that would be their Chromebooks, laptops, iPads, printers, MiFi devices. But the Learning Fund Department will be at all of our graduation ceremonies. They will have stations both at the area where the graduates come in, as well as the area where the adults come in. And if when they return those assets, they'll give them a receipt showing that they've been returned, and they can bring that to the diploma station. And if they have completed all the credits and been exited out, and they have verification that they have turned in all of their assets, we should be able to give them their diploma that day. We will be printing a lot of diplomas before we go for the students that we know have already returned their assets and everything and have those ready to go. But as long as technology works with it, so unfortunately it did last year, but I have to put that little disclaimer in there. We should be able to print for those students that return them that day, or maybe they were exited out after the cutoff of whenever we printed. So we hope to be able to send them home, as many of as we can, with the diplomas. That eliminates that issue we have of maybe they got lost in the mail. We've had a lot of diplomas getting lost in the mail through the years. It's super frustrating. So we take out that problem by handing them to the student. And by then, they will already have, because they've crossed the stage, their lovely diploma cover to keep their diploma in. And that way it goes home nice and straight and looking good and ready to display.
Very good. Outstanding. Outstanding. We do have one other question. I think we can get it in, Shani. Shy says, Greg says, my mom is registering me and the picture is having her upload it to Norman when she registered me for Tulsa. How do we fix that?
We will go in and see if there's an error on that and get that fixed for them in just a few minutes. Everything's brand new since it's all just gone up within the hour, so there may be a few glitches, but we'll work through those as soon as we learn of them. And anytime you see something like that, we ask everyone to please let us know. Epic events at epiccharterschools.org. I've got people monitoring that account right now, so we can try and troubleshoot and fix problems as soon as they arise.
Awesome.
Thank you.
One thing, Serena, I wanted to touch on as you were just talking about diplomas. You can, in fact, go to the two microsites, the two main, the Tulsa and the 50 pin, to pick up your diplomas after the fact as well, right?
Yes, we
Okay.
have diplomas at both the main Tulsa office and the main Oklahoma City office, and people that are able to print those and get them out to students, so long as they have completed all of those credits and returned their assets.
Okay. All right. Before I close, because you have such a phenomenal background and I know you worked hard on that. So we can see in the background what the cap and gown looks like. So that's what the cap and gown looks like. She just showed you the diploma cover. And then you also had something else. You had rings.
Oh, whenever they go to epicgrad.com, which is or is it .com? Sorry. It always helps if I'm looking at it as I say it. Yeah, epicgrad.com is the Herff Jones website, and that's where they order the caps and gowns, and those are ordered directly from Herff Jones, not from the school. And we do have the contact information on the graduation webpage of how to get a hold of Herff Jones if they have any issues. But they also sell a number of other things, including there's class rings. And the Epic ones are really, really cool. They even have some Kendra Scott jewelry this year. And then you can buy other graduation things, like some people want a special commemorative tassel that's maybe a bling one with, rhinestones on it. There's one with the state of Oklahoma. There's other things they can add on, including, yard signs to put in your yard saying you've got an Epic graduate this year, or graduation announcements. They've got all of those. So you can order all of those things whenever you go to that website. To order your cap and gown package, you can throw in a class ring, some jewelry, a t-shirt, sweatshirt, whatever you so desire, but you don't have to order any of those. It's important to remember there are multiple packages they can order for the cap and gown. All you truly need is the basic one that is there, which is the gown, the hood or stole, whichever one you call it, the cap and the tassel on it. There's some where you get other things like a commemorative tassel or a shirt and different things, but the basic package comes to $62.50 plus tax, which is 8.625%. That does include shipping and handling. They all orders placed prior to April 21st, and I know originally we communicated April 12th, but they did extend that deadline for us yesterday. So when you go to their website, it actually has a different date, but we've talked to them today. It is confirmed. You have until April 21st to have those shipped to home. You can continue to order after that date and pick them up at the graduation ceremonies. And we'll have the steaming station set up. So if there's wrinkles, no problem. We got that covered.
All right. I just want to thank both of you and your whole department, Serena and Katrina, and your whole department, because you all have such dedication. You can see it, in what we're doing today. I know it was a little bare because we didn't have the link go live like as fast as we wanted it to, but we're still going to succeed in everything, and your department is really, really responsible for making this turn out to be a great event for our students and families. So it's just a really large task for you guys to take on for every event. And we just admire all of the quality assurance that you have for all of our families, and you provide just a peace of mind for those special days that our families are going to be joining. So your commitment is appreciated, and we're just really happy that you joined us today.
Well, thank you so much for inviting us.
Honor is ours.
Yeah, thank you. And if you still have any questions about programs or anything that we discussed today, maybe you are considering enrolling, and we are still taking enrollment for 23-24, and we are re-enrolling for 24-25 for those who are returning to Epic and new families that are coming in. So just give us a call. We're loving having these families calling us every day. It's wonderful. Please reach out to our team at 405-400-0651, extension 489. Or you can email us at edt@epiccharterschools.org. So we're just happy to answer any questions that you have and give you any information that you need. Now, don't forget, families, the last day to place your learning fund orders for the 2023-24 school year is March 31st. And that's right around the corner, right? So anyway, and we have a new location for the webinar recordings on our website. So I just want to say to everyone, thank you again for joining us today. This was amazing. It's wonderful. Thank you so much to Katrina and Serena. You are wonderful. Do a great job every year. Have a great day, everybody. And thank you for joining us for Ask Epic. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.